Hi, I'm Shuchi Talati, the writer and director of Girls Will Be Girls, which is the film we're talking about on Mango Bay.
Mango Bay, Mango Bay.
Mango Bay.
Mango Bay, Mango Bay, Mango Bay, Mango Bay, your Mango Bay.
For the exclusive content, don't forget to join our Patreon at patreon.com/MangoBay. Mango
Bay.
Okay, welcome to Mango Bay.
One-stop shop for South Asian recklessness. We are two best boys, Usama, Siddiquee.
Pranav, Behari.
Join the Patreon.
Join the Patreon. Our producer just yelled at us for not bringing up the Patreon.
I feel a little weak.
No, definitely. I'm feeling very chastised
Joe,
by
please
Joe.
bring me some cut fruit later because I'm gonna need it. Say sorry to us later with some
Join
mango.
the Patreon, guys. You get a bunch of shit there. It's fun. It's amazing. It's gonna change your life.
Patreon.com/MangoBay.
There you go.
Today we have the filmmaker, auteur.
Auteur.
One might even say. Shuchi Talati. Am I saying that right?
Shuchi Talati.
Shuchi Talati.
Yes. Fresh off a victory at Sundance, or a triumph of being. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So the film that I wrote and directed is called Girls Will Be Girls and won 2 awards at Sundance. An audience award and a special award for acting.
Amazing.
For our lead.
For Mira?
For Mira.
Wow, she deserved it. She deserved it.
100%.
Yeah, we're so happy to have Shuchi here. Shuchi, can you give our audience a little synopsis of the film? Usama and I both watched it. You were generous enough to give us a screener. Which, by the way, what was hilarious about the screener was every time I'd be watching it, every once in a while, my name, Pranav Mango.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god! Like, what? This is like my big moment. I was like, a whole range of things, but it always threw me.
Also, when I saw that name, I was like, I want to get dogs.
I know.
I want to have my information in the cloud.
I was like, that's making it in the final cut, right?
Can I be dogs?
That's going to be at the final cut, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that is in the DCP.
Pranav Behari, Mango Bay.
Do you want me to tell you about the film?
Yes, please.
Okay. Girls Will Be Girls is a story about a 16-year-old girl. Her name is Mira, who is very, top student, goody two-shoes type at a very strict boarding school in India. The kinds where you can't, forget dating,
Right.
but even talking too much to a boy can get you into trouble.
Yeah.
Of course, she falls in love with a new boy who's foreign return, thinks this school is kind of parochial.
Very cosmopolitan guy.
Yes. And while she's hiding this both at school and at home from her mom finds out. And instead of being the typical Indian mom where she's like, no, she's like, oh, well, don't hide things from me. I want to meet this boy. And so she meets the boy, allows him to come home, and then progresses to get a little friendly with him. And things get weird.
Things get weird. Things get very weird.
Very weird.
I love the movie, especially my watermark cameos. But even aside from my cameos, I love this film. And I mean, and actually, there were times where I wasn't sure where it was going to head, right? And I was like, ooh, this has got a kind of Todd Haynes sort of darkness, feminine darkness to it, right? And then there's these weird little notes of Von Trier, but it actually ended on a very sweet note. Oh, can I say that?
I think so.
Okay. It ended on a very redemptive note, and it really threw me, but you did an amazing job of really pushing the line of tension in the film to the point where there's a specific scene, a specific moment for me where I was like, oh, and I was like, what the fuck? I had a real what the fuck. And I was just like, holy shit. It almost broke me a little bit. But I thought it was really skillfully done. You should be very proud of it. Well done. Was this something that was kind of based around your own experience? Did you go to boarding school in India? Was your mom kind of a seductress?
Is this about my mom?
Yeah.
I went to not a boarding school, but a school like this.
Yeah.
And honestly, every school I knew was a school like this in India where it was just so strict. The, teachers, as soon as I became a teenager, there was constant policing. That top is too short, that skirt is too short, that shirt is too tight, why are you bending over the bench like that,
Right.
So I wanted to kind of express, I wanted to kind of show this environment I grew up in where there was so much shaming around bodies and sexuality, but in the storytelling, not shame the main character. Really, the storytelling treats sexuality, Mira's sexual awakening, as something totally normal, mundane. She has agency in it. She has fun.
Yeah.
You know?
No, she does. Definitely.
Yeah, at times I felt like a voyeur almost because it was like, you know, you see like the chair scene where they're on the chairs.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, that one's a whore because the dress and she's a good girl.
Yeah.
And then the scene after, she's like dancing in a mirror, you know, and in a way that's very intimate.
Yeah.
And as a man, an Indian man seeing an Indian girl, like just in a room, I already feel like, oh God, this, no, auntie, I'm sorry.
I know.
I felt a lot of my own, you know, brown Bengali, but like my desi, you know, misgivings and sort of upbringing kind of at play here. Like, oh, you can't bring a guy. And you kind of pushed on that. You kind of knew it. You grew up in it. And so you kind of pushed that line a little bit. I also the same reaction as Pranav watching this movie. This movie was the Bourne ultimatum for me. This was incredibly intense.
This is my personal predator. This is the Indian predator, if anyone's wondering.
Literally. But I had stomach, like I was feeling it because of the viscerality of the character and the unsaid, what is this mom doing? What is this mom doing?
Yeah.
It is freaking me out. And you did an amazing job of like hitting the line, but not going over it. I feel like a less skilled hand might do some things where like, a very obvious, and it'd be like, oh, there, whatever. But you kept it right on the edge, and I just could not. That edge had an actual body effect on me.
Oh my
I thought it was
God.
incredible. I thought it was so good, and I really wanted to impress on you how that's going to stay with me, like that, like not going too far in storytelling, just giving the right amount of breadcrumbs. Incredible.
I love that because I want filmmaking, like film viewing, to be like a full body experience. I don't want people to watch like that intellectually. I want them to be like, like, you know. And I've seen people in theaters who are like watching like that.
I did. I do the bet. Sorry, can I halfway right when they start getting really like friendly, I had to watch like this. I literally. That was like,
I know, because you had the feeling of just some kind of impending doom that was kind of lurking over everything, but you just didn't know what form it was actually going to take shape in, actually. And that's what I thought was also very skillful about it, was that you didn't know what the actual doom was going to be because there was so much potential from multiple directions.
Yeah.
And they kind of, I mean, they manifested actually in certain ways, but not in ways that I expected either.
Stacy's mom got nothing on Mira's mom. Can we say that? I mean,
Who's Stacy?
Stacy's
The
mom
proverbial
has
wife?
got to go.
Okay, I don't know that.
I don't know that either, but there are lots of Letterboxd reviews that reference Stacy's mom, and I was
Know the song?
like, "Who's Stacy's
Joe?
mom?"
Stacy's mom has got it going on. Come on. You don't know that song? But,
I mean, that tune I sound familiar, yeah,
wow. Through that, I thought that was going to be a home slam dunk.
I'm sorry.
Everyone knows it. Usama rocks. Wow. How did you direct that? Like, was that like a very big part of the storyboarding? Like that arc of like...
Wait, which arc?
The brinksmanship of the mom and the daughter. Like...
Yeah, I mean, so one, this idea that I wanted it to feel like a thriller.
Right.
And-
Exactly, yeah.
And the way you do that, I think, is by making you really care about Mira. Like, you're so invested, and she is so amazing that even when she's quiet, you kind of feel her thoughts.
Definitely.
You feel what she's feeling. So if her mom does something appropriate, you feel the tension you would feel in a thriller when somebody's going to get killed.
yeah.
So that was one thing. And then the second was really trying to stay close to her point of view. We never know anything that she doesn't. And we don't change our point of view about any of the characters until she does.
Yes.
So really testing that. So when she is like, fuck, mom,
Yeah.
like you want to feel that.
You know, that's such a great point, and that was really executed really well, because at various points it was very hard to discern what's actually going on with the mom, who was incredible, by the way. What was the actress's name?
Kaniko Shruti.
She was so good. Because at certain points you're like, is this protectress or seductress? Like, what is going on there, right? And I think it's because we stayed so close to Mira's perspective in the film. And I thought you were right. I mean, it really did play like a thriller, actually, even though it was actually a really sensitive drama, you know what I mean? But it had these notes of being a thriller, which, again, I was very tense at certain points, and I was like, what the fuck? Just...
Well, I think there's two things that power the mom, right? There's like that lack of childhood, right, that she didn't have.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to vicariously live through that.
Where she's trying to relive her childhood.
In
I
a way,
felt,
right?
you
Like
know?
relive her childhood. And I don't think in my mind that she had anything nefarious physically in place. But when we look at it, as you say, from the daughter's eyes, all we see is that. So it's like this weird thing of like, what's the truth doesn't matter because the truth is Mira's truth, right?
Exactly.
So if you look at the mom's movie, the spinoff, whatever, it'd be like, my daughter is going crazy. She wants to sleep with this boy, like, and I'm not gonna let that happen. Very standard mom energy, but with Mira's eyes, it's like, look at this.
I don't know about that.
What?
I disagree.
You think there's some energy where she wants to
listen? That's the thing, right? To me, I think you could easily make a movie about the mom from the mom's perspective, and it would retain that same ambiguity and sort of ambivalence. I felt like the mom had a lot of ambivalence in general.
Because
right?
this is what I didn't want to simplify. Like, humans are all the things. Her mom wants to protect her daughter and not, have sex or do something she considers appropriate.
Yeah.
She wants to have a little bit of fun.
Yes.
She also cares about this boy who seems to be sort of abandoned by her kids, who she's also a mother figure to him. But she has all of those things. And I don't, as a storyteller, I don't want to simplify that. She brings all of that.
No, I think you're right. I revised. You're all right.
You know what's actually interesting, and now that you bring it up, is it almost puts them and juxtaposes Mira and Srini, who plays the boy, almost as siblings in a way. And he, like many Indian households in India, the boy is favored, right?
Yeah.
He comes in and she starts really favoring him, where she's like, sleep on the couch, bitch, and like, Srini needs to get his rest. Do you want some chai? Do you want a strawberry milk? You were studying too hard. Do you want a milkshake? Which...
Listen, when she didn't bring the tea out, bitch, no.
The milkshake.
The milkshake. That's fight. That's a fight. Okay, so I didn't appreciate that. Don't morle me after that. You know what I'm saying? You're right that the character interplay was so, like, there were some scenes that were so intense, like that seemingly were just like, if you wrote the scene out in a script, you wouldn't even really see it. So like, I'm wondering, in your journey of making the film.
Yeah.
I don't think as just a person with like money who could like finance a film or whatever would understand what the film became from just a script. Did you have a tough time making people believe like how intense?
That's an amazing question because like it's so hard to get films made from this, right? From that are in India about Indians, right? And then I saw your co-producers were like Norway and France and things like that. Obviously not America, but like, we don't give money for shit here, but that's a great question of like, and also because it's not like a Slumdog Millionaire, right? Or like a Monkey Man where it's a very extrinsic action that's happening, right?
Yeah.
And that, like, this is about X, Y, and Z. This is a very subtle, very delicate, but also very intense film.
The American version would be like, who you in love with? She's like, Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Marvel
It's just the
storyline.
Indian Spider-Man.
Well, getting financing was hard. It was awful.
Yeah.
But then eventually we figured out who doesn't want the film.
Yeah.
The investors in India are not interested in this film.
Uh-huh.
They are like, आप मैडम आप विद्या बालन को कास्ट कर लो,
Vidya Balan ke cast kar do.
I mean, it's
Every
like,
mom character got Vidya Balan.
yeah, I mean, she's like a wonderful actor, but not I didn't see her as Anila. And so for in India, it was like, or you cut your budget in half, which I was like, no. So American production companies, they were like, oh, we love it.
Okay.
But also we don't really finance films that don't happen in the US.
Yeah.
Because Americans are not interested in
I
films
get it,
that happen
yeah.
elsewhere. So the first money to come was European money because it's grant money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Socialized.
Yeah, support for cinema. So that was the first money that came. And then we got a couple of grants which are considered prestigious. So then other investors who invest in art house films like this started to take notice. So there's actually an American company that eventually came on, but it's, run by someone who splits their time between Japan and the US and is Taiwanese and funds a lot of foreign films and almost does it not philanthropically, but sort of,
Sure. I mean, we can't escape the philanthropy thing from movies. Like a lot of art-minded rich people support films, right?
Yeah.
You got to find those people and squeeze.
And we can't make the films without them right
I
now.
know,
There's
right?
no other ecosystem.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Certainly
Indie
not
film.
in India or in America.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we had finally an investor in India come through. But they're like a digital marketing company
Hmm.
called Blink Digital. They have not invested in films before, but they love the script.
Right.
Amazing.
So
That's great.
yeah, no,
Well,
it was
isn't there a new group of people coming up that are like going to be maybe like more, say like some VC guy who invented some Tiffin app in India who's like, I wants to see what's up with movies, whatever. Like there's like a new crop coming up, right?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I mean,
like younger people.
I hope they're trying to invest in films like this.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
But yeah, unless they want like a nepo kid,
That's
I'm
probably
sure.
more the direction a little bit. I think though you have a point though. There are like Indian VCs in general everywhere who are
Right.
like, I'm not just a money guy.
Yeah, yeah.
okay? I'm like a cultured guy
Yeah.
now, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna finance the next Lars von Trier movie. Okay. Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's in the main group of the guys who was
Yeah.
chasing her. You know?
Yeah,
That's a group of VCs in Silicon Valley. Like, about to one thing I really loved were the side characters in this film, like little moments and like things maybe as a brown guy, I see so much of. I'm wondering how a white person would interact with this stuff, like the headmaster lady or whatever.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
What a
Bansi.
Mansi Bansal,
Bansal.
and just the small little things, little moments. She's not pure evil. She's
No.
not, but there's moments of like, well, tell them, the woman being like, tell the women to wear better dresses as opposed to the men.
Exactly.
Just locked in, ingrained, and base level, like you're in your ganglia of your neurons. Tell them to wear better dresses before even coming at the men.
But you know what? She was actually a very fair character
Yes.
as well, and she actually had I thought she was a very redeeming character.
I think so.
and
Yeah.
actually had moments of heroism as well, right? Which had different kinds of effects throughout the film. But I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, I mean, she's an agent of the patriarchy, but also she's a victim of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And she kind of tries to navigate this,
Yeah.
where she's like, yeah, don't pick a fight with those boys. Like, police
Yeah.
the girls. It'll be better for you.
Yeah.
And there was some wisdom to that.
Yeah.
She's being a pragmatist,
Yes,
actually.
yeah.
Truly,
and she
yeah.
kind of was right because she did kind of accede to her demands, right?
Yeah.
And then it did have some consequences, which were a little bit fucked, which we're not going to talk about for the sake of spoilers. But okay, you got a lot of European assistance for them. Are you inspired? Like, who are your cinematic influences?
I guess I love Celine Sciamma. I don't know. Have you seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire?
Oh yeah, okay. I've heard of it. I've never
Love
really-
that
I never
film.
watched it, but
Yeah.
I heard it was good.
German filmmaker called Marinade, but I don't have that many. I feel like for a filmmaker, I don't watch that many films.
Ooh.
So
We don't listen to podcasts. So.
I don't know. Especially when I'm writing, I find it hard to watch. I just have to otherwise I feel like I'm just going to reference things that I've seen, and I
Yeah.
try really hard not to do that.
Yeah.
And to write from life.
Right.
Because characters in cinema are often simplified.
Yeah.
I was gonna come in with some Ozu concepts,
Oh,
like the
God.
stairs, and I'm like, wow, what an Ozu like thing. I didn't say it, thank God, because now it would have been so wrong.
You can make those comparisons.
I didn't do it.
Are you calling me the
I
next
didn't-
Ozu?
I didn't do it.
Yeah, that's
I
That'll,
did
that'll
not.
set the financiers on fire, by the
Yeah.
way. Like, this girl's the next Ozu. Get out your checkbooks, guys.
That
Oh,
first
wait,
scene
can I
with the-
circle back to something
What's that,
you were
what's that?
saying?
What's that?
You know, when you're talking about the scene where she's dancing and how it felt
Yes.
so intimate? And I was been thinking about this film where on the one hand, there's sexuality, but it's not explicit. There's no nudity.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, it is very explicit.
Oh
Really,
yeah.
It's very explicit.
What are you? Yes.
It's I'm like,
It's
Usama had it nailed.
without-
I felt like a voyeur at times, and I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, because
Ah.
it's somehow I don't know, taking you into really the emotional truth of what is going on
Yeah.
and how it really feels emotionally. How you feel hurt, how you navigate a first kiss or the first time somebody touches you. Without actually showing that. And I think
Yes.
it's funny that it feels more explicit.
Oh, absolutely. The imagination is way more powerful than
Yeah.
anything you can possibly see. And you don't hold back. It's like, I keep forgetting this is like an Indian person who made the film. It's like, I love that we're not, because Bollywood would not even touch this.
No,
There's
no.
not even, Karan Johar's not making a scene where she's, like literally looking at her own body like that.
Yeah.
It is incredible. And only, I think, available through indie means at this point. Like, I don't know what Bollywood film would even touches this. Do you know Bollywood that much? Do you know if Bollywood's going in that direction? Like, a little bit?
Not quite in this way. I think they do sometimes do sexuality, but
Yeah.
it's still very glam, or it's sort of like
Oh,
he.
yeah.
You know, there's some kind of embarrassment when you deal with it.
Yes.
And I'm not interested in that.
I
haven't watched a Bollywood film in honestly 20 years.
I watched one a couple days ago, but it was a group thing. It was a group thing. I just said yes to the group, and it was a good film. Really enjoyed
Alright,
it.
yeah.
But the same trappings,
Yeah.
that I grew up with in the '90s. Like what they haven't fixed a lot of that stuff. They kiss now. I'll say that.
Yeah.
There's lips touching.
Yeah.
For a millisecond, and then they back into the dance moves. But I saw that film and I enjoyed it. It's always a romp.
Yeah.
But nothing. I've never felt that feeling watching a Bollywood film. What I felt watching your film. That deep sense of unease in terms of the characters and the interplay with the moms. When you say the thing that isn't said, it's really starts getting to you.
Yeah.
Like when the mom is go to your room, then a door closes, the milkshake not given, these small, and then you see her, you just cut to her immediately, and that face that she has, every actress has that money face, the one that they're famous for. Hers is that deep, that smoldering hate. Oh, it's just so intense. And I want to talk about the male character a little bit. The main character who was played by
Keshav Binoy Kiran.
He was also great.
Phenomenal. This idea of the good Indian boy, I think, was a very big concept. Like on paper, this guy is perfect, right? To the mom, good guy. I'm good guy. Staying distance and all that. But this guy's got more depth, right?
He's a bit of a con artist,
right?
Right.
That's
That's
the
kind
thing.
of what we learn about him
Right.
a little bit, right? He's a bit of a scammer, but. I
What-
mean,
what's your take on your character?
Well, I think it's again all of the things, right? He's a little bit of a charmer, likes to get away with things.
Right.
But I think he likes Mira.
No, I think he does. Definitely does.
He cares about the mom.
Yeah.
He's a little bit abandoned by his own parents who seem to never know what he's up to or care or show up for his 18th birthday. And so he's figured out the survival mechanism as a kid of a diplomat who's moved.
Yeah.
He's he knows very quickly to give people what they want, charm them, and then that's how he feels liked and safe.
Yeah.
And that's
That's how he
because-
moves through the world.
Yeah.
I mean, with that charm, he almost got into a Brazzers situation, Straight up. Let's go.
Did you talk to Brazzers about financing this?
We love your film.
Future endeavors.
Phenomenal. Can we add some scenes? But besides that, the skeleton's there.
You should pitch this to Brazzers.
I think the foil is great. The characters are so foiled up, but they really do care about each other. Mira and what's the boy's name in the
Shri.
Shri, yeah. Mira and Shri are opposites, right? She
Yeah.
has almost no charisma in her life.
It's true. She's like Lisa Simpson. She's like the Lisa Simpson, and
Right?
he's like Bart. or
He's like a
something.
Bart vibe, right? Little scamp. And I think the most important thing with these kind of films is that are they vibing, right?
Yeah.
And one scene, the moment I realized it's gonna be a special film is that when that first kiss thing, can I kiss you? So
I
many
love
films
it.
get that wrong. You
Yeah.
know, that feeling of that first kiss and that the way she said no, and then that kiss after. I'm like, this is exactly.
All of their scenes together were very palpable.
Aren't they
Wow,
so
dude,
good? They
yeah,
have so
like-
much chemistry.
Yeah, they did, and I was definitely feeling
Yeah.
things where I was like, oh fuck, this is bringing me back a little bit.
Dude,
My first kiss
Right.
at age 35.
How did you? Yeah. But 36 though, already anal. So
I went very.
one
I was,
year of.
I was advanced. Okay, I was a bit of a prodigy. First kiss 35, straight to anal
Yes,
36.
the Michael Che.
37, I was on Brazzers.
So how did you film this? Was it to the script? Was there how much improv was allowed or encouraged? I always wonder about this in scripts.
I mean, on the one hand, the script is labored over. And so I really know the beats well. And then I don't care about the lines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So if somebody says it slightly differently, I don't care. What I want is for it to feel truthful.
Boom.
So I don't if somebody is angry and in that moment they laugh, because people do that sometimes in life. You hide your anger
Yeah.
and laugh because you're uncomfortable. I want that. And then something else and then it's funny, often because it was written, I think not like dialogue. It felt it was
Right.
pretty realistic. The actors often stuck to the lines.
Yeah.
But I would say on set, I was like, feel free to say it in your own words. And then they would do the next take, completely follow the script,
Yeah.
but better performances.
Yeah.
But I think as actors sometimes just need the freedom to know that they can follow their instincts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they realize I actually don't know what to say. Let me go with the script.
Yeah.
The script is actually saying it how I would like to say
Exactly.
it.
Improv is hard to
Yeah.
say, not just vamp, but say something that is telling the story
Yeah.
is very fucking hard.
I think some of the improv stories in media and film are kind of scary to actors too, because it's like, you know that scene in American Beauty? They're like, Kevin Spacey actually threw the plate at the wall and it crashed and everyone's like, I'm like, does that have to be the level of improv that people go to? Can it just be like one extra line? So I think actors sometimes get in their own heads about like these improv legends, you know, whatever. It's all bullshit.
Sometimes you don't want the and Last Tango in Paris. Just putting that out there. Google it, guys. Okay, Google the big improv scene in that. It's not good. It's pretty dark.
Marlon Brando.
Without spoiling anything, you know, a good improv moment though.
What's up?
The very last scene.
Oh, really? The very
the
last scene?
very
the,
last
oh.
scene. So it was written, but like the emotions were not all written. The emotions happened.
Wow.
That's kind of movie magic right
Yeah,
there.
that is movie magic. And that is because like it's the scene with the mother and the daughter, and through the making of the film, Preeti, who plays Meera, the daughter, and Kani, who plays the mom, they developed a sort of bond,
Yeah,
you know,
they
as
did.
their characters. And we shot it towards the end of our schedule.
Yeah.
And some of those feelings are
That's
magic.
incredible. It was a really interesting journey of her kind of awakening as a woman and her mother. It's really about their battle and then them sort of finding their way back
Yeah.
Yes.
to each other in a way. It was nice.
How much of this is your life? Is that a what? Like, is it all? Is it just a documentary, basically?
I feel like the school part is my life.
Yeah.
You know? And actually, the first draft of the script was set all in the school. And the triangle was between Meera, Shri, and Bansi.
Wow. That would have actually been pretty fascinating.
And Bansi
He's like-
was a much younger character. You know,
Okay.
she was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one of those like younger teachers that
Yeah.
I knew I had in my high school. The ones who were like unmarried at 30 and then got
Yes.
pretty friendly with the
Yes.
senior boys
Yeah.
and would share their lunch with them.
Yeah.
So it was all in the school. And I was writing a separate script, which is the mother-daughter story. And then one day I was like, oh, they're the same film.
Combined.
And then I was like, oh, the rivalry is so much more interesting if it's the mom. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Definitely. Although I think the Bunty would have actually
That would've hit.
been very
That would've hit.
interesting as
That would've
well.
been
Another
funny.
Brazzers, by
That
the
would've
way.
been very-
Different
I
Brazzers.
thought Bunty was kind of hot.
She was very hot.
She was pretty beautiful.
They're very Bengali vibes to me. Like
Yeah.
the kind of style, the sari style.
Yeah.
I was my Bengali boy was coming out with the little sleeve. I was like, I'll say this, the long sleeve, harder than the no sleeve. I'll say that right now. I'll say it again.
all right,
Spoken like a true
Devika.
Islamist.
Bengali Islamist. But the scene with he's like telling the kid, get on the chair, but like a different scene completely, you know? Wow, and that was, again, so you said my friend told me this took 10 years to write. Is that true or is that?
I want to say from concept to shoot was probably between around 9 years. I wrote the first draft of the script 2017. But before that, it was still already marinating for a couple years. And we shot it in 2022. It premiered in 2024.
That's
That's
amazing.
great.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Once
you
it
know,
comes together, it happens very fast.
Yeah.
I know. It's a good thing we don't know this when we start.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it takes 5 to 10 years to make your first independent film. And you're like, that's not me. I'm going to make mine in 3 years. And then 10 years later, here I am.
Or you can be like Linklater, where he just like goes around, just films something, and then posts it. You know, like
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
good. I'm sorry, he's not a good
his first
filmmaker.
Austin film. He was just like,
Did you see that movie
What?
Hitman that he made? It was honestly like one of the worst movies I'd ever seen. I was mad at my cousin for making me watch it. He considered himself like a cinephile. And he's like, we're going to watch Hitman.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ass, dude. Within the first 20 minutes, I was like, bro, this is ass. And he's
Shit
like,
Man.
no, let's just keep watching it. I was like, I think I might have said that at one point. I was like, this should be called Shit Man, okay? But Linklater is not a good, I'm sorry, I don't believe in him. But
I love School of Rock. Besides
Me too.
that, I can't stand him. But School of Rock is my favorite film.
I love
School
School
of
of Rock.
Okay.
Wait,
Brazzers.
can I ask you both a question?
What's
Yeah.
up? Yeah.
How do you think like brown people, South Asians, are going to receive this film?
No.
And especially like older uncle auntie generation.
Uncle aunties are not going to get it, and actually, I don't think. I don't think even. I mean,
don't
it's
know.
going to be
No, no.
No, hold on. The demographic for
Yeah.
this film, I believe, is going
Okay.
to be the demographic that you want it for, which is people like you who are interested in sensitive, very layered storytelling. Okay, so
Which is a
I
large
don't
group.
think.
And people like you, it seems like. I wouldn't have put. I mean,
Really?
no
I'm
offense. I
a-
wouldn't have. You're sensitive.
I'm
and
a
you're,
huge cinephile. I'm
Yeah,
not
you
sensitive
are.
necessarily, but I'm a huge cinephile.
Do we seem like brown beasts?
No,
you
but
know, like,
if I look at your Instagram persona, I'm not
Arre.
easily like you are like my
Yeah.
target.
Arre! I feel ashamed now.
No,
of
I don't
my-
think
No,
so.
you
I still
don't.
think
You
brown-
don't.
Look, I think culturally.
I was like, maybe it'll be too slow and boring for you.
Oh my
And
god.
then
Okay. Hold on. Can I say something? 1 second. So Instagram clips are like little 1 minute bursts, right? And to get these things to go viral, you have to be like locked in,
Yeah.
make a point.
Yes.
This is blah, right? That's one energy, right?
Yeah.
I can hang out on the beach, you know. I'm different. I have layers. I love films with a good character. I'm a humanist more than anything. I'm a humanist. Human stories are everything to me. So we loved it completely.
I love it because I keep saying that it's a film for women, but when men
Whoa.
are like, we love it, I'm like,
And gay men.
I was like, I don't know who my audience is sometimes. I'm like, it's wider.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
wider.
I think
Wow.
that's the thing. You can't control who your audience is.
No,
actually,
I can't.
You know?
I can't.
We always have a conception of like, this is going to hit among X, Y, and Z. And then you don't know. You put it out and then some really random people end up coming to
No, this is so exciting to me.
You're like, this film is for Indian girls with bobs, and that's it.
I mean, look, the thing is, like, Usama and I, look, we're also comedians, though. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So we're also, granted, we're in the gutter in
You
terms of what
are,
artists
but you're
are.
artists. You're, no,
right?
but
We're
you're
creative
artists.
people, right? But I don't know. Do I think like a product manager at Spotify or something, a brown dude, is going to be into the movie? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But his girlfriend.
His
maybe.
girlfriend will take him. She'll
Yeah.
take him.
Yeah, exactly. You
Will
know?
Kips Bay like this movie? I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know, will East Village like this movie? I don't know. Right? Park Slope? We're in. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's played twice for Desi audiences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell us
One,
about that.
okay, one time in Austin at a film festival. So it's a festival crowd and it's Austin. So it's like, you know.
Hip, weird,
Yeah,
yeah.
hip, weird, but older crowd.
Yeah.
And then a second time in LA, which mostly industry crowd, lots of young filmmakers, actors, younger crowd.
Right.
I mean, in Austin, I watched it with the audience. I usually don't.
You're right.
But here I was just so curious and I felt like I was watching with my uncles and aunties and I felt that energy of like, why you have to put so much sex, you know? Why? You can make more symbolic.
It's like brazzers.
You can do more symbolic.
Can't believe those boys got suspended.
Or
Bloody
like,
injustice.
you know, or like, you know, that sex, I know it is your thing, but bullying is a good topic. You should make a film about
Yeah. Sex is your thing is like insane. Sex is your thing. Like,
But that is the vibe. And a few scandalized uncle and aunties, very small number, but they left.
Yeah.
Right.
And in LA, the younger audience was all over it. They were
Right.
like, I feel like this is my high school diary that you
Yeah.
were reading.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I was that girl, I was that guy, I was that guy in the internet cafe, you know?
Yeah.
Just so, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious about how it's going to play in India.
I love how you thought.
Well, hold on. First of all, I want to
sorry.
make sure we don't miss this.
No.
This is premiering in New York.
Yes.
Can you give us the details?
It's going to premiere at Film Forum, the best theater in New York,
One
Oh,
of the
yeah.
best storied,
Absolutely.
historical, amazing
Absolutely.
theater.
for a 2-week run starting September 13th.
September
So-
13th. Get out there to the premiere, guys. We're going to
And-
be there. We're going to be opening for it, doing some comedy. No, I'm kidding. We won't. But
Oh my God, you should.
We'd love to.
Come for the opening weekend. Opening weekend is very important.
yeah, opening weekend's very important. It is. We are adamant that you have to go. If you're
Go.
in New York, go to Film Forum September 13th. Get your tickets in advance on filmforum.com. I just want to put that out there. Let's continue the discussion, though.
I just love how you, before you came into this room, you thought we were watching this film going like, where's the punching? Like, where's the fight
It's
scenes,
like, these
man?
fucking idiots aren't going to get my art at all. These fucking Neanderthals.
Oh, we like Monkey Man,
Yeah.
and this was not Monkey Man. So
I was like, well, he didn't cancel on this interview,
I
so that's a
did.
good sign.
I'm so glad that you got to understand how much we like it. Like that,
Yeah,
I'm so
no,
happy that
I am so touched and
because-
honored. I'm like, really.
you know, and sometimes you forget what you even portray. You know,
This
online.
movie is right up there for me with Commando. So it's like that's what it is. It's like another. That was the same
There was no
feeling I had.
dildo scene where the two girls were getting butt fucked, like Raccoon for a Dream. I like that too. I'm not that what you're
Yeah.
saying. I'm not gonna disavow
No,
that.
we are complex people, as
absolutely.
we said.
We are
We
complex
acknowledge
people.
that.
You're just watching my reels getting terrified. Like, who is this Neanderthal loser? this problem with a couple of if I'm dating somebody and they see my stuff beforehand, they assume a more brutish character than.
Well, not even brutish, but it's just like maybe my film is not funny enough. I'm like, you guys are comedians, so I'm also.
Well, it's not a funny movie.
Oh, it's pretty funny in an
No,
audience.
there's funny moments. There's funny moments.
Yeah.
But it's not. It wasn't a comedy. You
But
know.
I want it to be funny. And so
There was definitely a lot of funny moments. Like first of all, the way that little bitch boy who got rejected, I laughed at him every scene. The way he couldn't look at her, the girl. That was funny. The fucking one thing, like there's a couple of scenes that really made me laugh. This chair scene was like comedy to me.
Her mom shitting on the skirt after she bought it for her. It was very funny to me.
There's definitely funny scenes. I wouldn't say it's a comedy.
No,
it's not a comedy.
It's not a comedy.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of embarrassed laughter in movie theaters.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
people are like cringing together.
Yeah.
And
What's your favorite part of the film? Is there anything, a moment that's like, all your views realized and crystallized?
I love the dance scene between the mother, daughter, and the boy.
Yo,
That
Yeah.
one, I just.
the music choice is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's a great
Yeah,
song.
so it's
Yeah.
it was written in the script as Dancing Queen.
Yeah.
Because like my parents' generation all listened to ABBA.
Yeah.
ABBA.
And so the first like Western music I listened to was also ABBA.
Yes.
But of course we couldn't afford Dancing Queen. So they found this like sound alike. It sounds
Badass.
like
It's a great
ABBA.
track.
It
Badass.
sounds
Great
like
track,
it could
yeah.
have been like a disco hit.
Yeah.
The
You know?
French
It was.
disco,
It was
European
really
good.
disco.
Yeah.
Those dance moves were so also un-Indian, which I love. Like it's an Indian movie, Indian people, and they're doing like this very like French European disco moves.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I want to talk about this. Is kind of a period piece, the
Yeah.
movie.
Yes.
As well. It is 90s.
Yeah.
This is the Himalayas.
Yeah.
A school in the Is that where you went?
No.
Okay.
I grew up in Gujarat, totally in the plains.
Gotcha.
But all the boarding schools are clustered there. And I read a lot of Enid Blyton. I don't know if you guys...
Edith Wharton.
Enid Blyton.
Okay.
Who's
no.
this?
It's like a British author who's very weirdly famous in India. Children's author, so writes a lot of boarding school stories, which I grew up reading.
Dude, boarding school is not an American concept, really. But y'all really seem to like understand it really well. Like kids go away for school.
Yeah.
Early on in their lives.
Even the schools themselves, though, all have a boarding school kind of vibe because
Right.
everyone's in uniform and they're very
different.
Yeah.
strict,
different.
and the teachers are very mean. They're always extremely mean.
Yeah.
That's like part of you have to be mean as a teacher. But
Right.
I just remember when I was a kid in India and just visiting, I would go every summer. And I would just hear the most nightmarish, sadistic hazing stories from
Yeah.
my cousins.
Yeah.
You know, where they talk about these notorious figures, you know what I mean? Like, and
yeah.
then Bunty. Oh, famous Bunty at the school, you know.
Yes.
He did this.
Bunty.
And it's like, I'm like, this is like the makings of a modern Caligula that's happening in these boarding schools here.
Yeah,
It's
no,
so
it
sadistic
was, it was
shit.
awful.
Mr. Bundy.
Yeah.
In
Bunty was
my-
actually my cousin. I'm just trying to remember the name, though, that he had told me.
Yeah, in our school, we had only boarding for boys. And I
Yeah.
remember in 6th grade, this one little mousy boy who had not done his homework and he was getting scolded, and he was like, but madam, like the seniors, the boys, they make us wash their underwear, and then we were washing till late in the night and I couldn't do my homework.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God.
My dad was.
Was the hazing among girls like that?
Not quite as much. And we didn't have boarding. The girls were all like what we
Okay.
call day scholars.
That sounds the Brazzers Mill, by the way. That's insane.
Night scholars.
It makes sense. I mean, it's a very like again the demarcation of
Yeah.
men to women. It makes sense. My dad has a story about how he was like the first all the time. He was like the top boy all
Yeah.
the time. But because he was top, he would abuse that power. So he was like, so I'd finish the test in 5 minutes and I'd go climb a tree or something, right? And then he would get like pellet gunned because he wouldn't leave the tree or something. He's like, I'm number one, so you guys can fuck off. Then some guy would pellet gun him. He'd like come down. They'd beat him a little bit. He's like, but you're our number one boy, so we didn't hit the balls or whatever. So it's like these draconian measures for even the most starred
Yeah.
pupil, you
Yeah.
know?
They had to shoot him
They
out of the
shot him down from the tree.
Your
Like,
dad's like a feral scholar who's just like, back to the tree I go.
He's a beast from X-Men, you know? With the glasses, but he's a
Done
monkey.
with my linear algebra test. Back to my tree.
Yeah.
To my perch.
He's gonna shoot him from the sky. It's a crazier system, you know?
Yeah.
Did you ever get, were you a goody two shoes? Like, or was it like...
I was a pretty goody two shoes. I think the only trouble, though, but I was also dating. So
were.
I was kind of like the character in the film where I was like the good student. The teachers loved me. In 10th grade, I was like a state topper, which is like top whatever, ranked one in my state.
Amazing.
And
In Gujarat?
in Gujarat,
That's
hardcore.
incredible.
which is like for people who know, it's like an easier state to be a state topper. And
Okay, but it's not like Bihar, you know.
it's like not like Kerala.
In Behari, they're like, she colored inside the lines.
Yeah, I know.
This is
She tied her
genius.
shoes.
Wow.
Um,
She tied her shoes.
but was always sneaking around. And I kind of wanted to tell this story because in Indian cinema, like the good girls, there's the sexy girls and there are the good girls.
Right.
And like if you watch like a Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum
Yes.
with like Kareena Kapoor's character who's very like sexy and she's like poo in the big, and then she has to put on a salwar kurta, go to the temple and be like puja, you know, and then now she is like marriageable.
Joe. Keep on
And-
light at 45. Yeah, okay.
And I kind of wanted to tell a good girl who's allowed to be a sexual being,
Yeah.
you know? And I was like, I knew girls like that all the time.
You know what I love that? It's like you didn't, again, it's the storytelling doing the work, right? Now, like, I'm a sexy girl and I'm having, she just started dancing in the mirror. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is about American films now. They don't show anything anymore. It's all just talking about the thing. And so I guess, maybe I haven't seen a film like this in a long time where visuals are doing work.
Yeah.
Visuals are doing some storytelling, you know, a little eye here, a look there, a mirror there. Are there some...
So you wanted to combine you were basically like nerds can be sexy too.
Yeah, nerds can be sexy too.
Nerds be getting wet, y'all. Okay.
Meanwhile, you didn't give us that same level of, of depth.
I know.
Oh, these are jocks.
Yeah,
They want to
that's
see
complicated,
kabaddi.
but she's like
Jocks,
these feral beasts, you know.
jocks can be sensitive too.
Okay.
Feral beasts can
We
be.
don't even like sports like that.
Yeah,
we don't even watch.
we don't watch sports anyway.
Jesus. What's the vibe we're giving up? I didn't realize that we were part
Mostly
of the...
you.
I do have a jockey vibe, I guess. Hilarious.
Yeah.
And now what's next? You're going to put this in the kind of theaters. If this gets a big weekend this next coming, or what is it?
13th, September
13th
13th.
September.
13th, it's going to what? We're talking best case scenario, goes up everywhere.
Best case
Big six,
scenario,
huh?
yeah. If it has a really big opening weekend, lots of other cities. It's going to open in about 15 cities.
Great.
But a lot of smaller
Toronto,
markets.
San Francisco. I'm thinking
Yes.
all the Indian cities.
Yeah, all the exactly
Yeah.
all the cities with big South Asian population. You
Cool,
think of it, it's
Yeah.
opening there. But there are smaller markets that are waiting to see how it'll do in New York. You know,
Arkansas.
so yeah,
I'll miss it.
it is going to open in Boise. I know.
Wow.
So it can have a wider release. It can have a big streaming sale. We need that money.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be great.
So and people will see it. Like people will continue to watch the film. I want people to hear about it.
Definitely.
Dude, I really want this film to go off. I mean, again, when I did America's Got Talent, I remember going to a barbecue place in Texas, deep Texas.
Yeah.
There was a shadow behind me. I looked back, massive white dude with the tongue-down hat. He's like, I loved your jokes, brother. And it's like, that was a very special
Girls will
moment.
be girls. I fucked with it.
Oh, in the Himalayas?
Now get out of my country, but your movie can stay.
Go to the mountains. So I think I really believe in this movie. I think it's really, really, really just like a thing that people will relate to. And I think maybe you're even understanding how surprising that is.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize maybe how you don't even know yet how universal this is yet until you're talking to people.
Well, look, all the themes in it are very relatable to anybody who went to school and grew up and had all the weird ambivalence about their bodies and growing up and all these feelings. So it's an extremely relatable thing, right? The only
100%.
deterrent is like they're brown.
Yeah.
Also, who doesn't have a difficult mom?
Oh, yeah.
Like who
Exactly.
is that person?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like-
What is it about white people that they just demarcate? They're like, we're white subconsciously. And that's a brown story for browns and brown people doing brown shit. Maybe it's a condition in our society. Like there's just, everyone has their media. I don't know. I don't know how to undo this concept of like,
It's fucked up
It's
because
there, bro.
because there are white people. There are many white people who like it and relate to it. But then there are some who are like, I think it's not Indian enough. It's not authentic enough because
Yeah.
what? It's not poverty porn, so it's
Right.
not Indian
Or there's
enough.
no dancing.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
like
that.
what? It's not about like women just being oppressed victims.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It's interesting that all the race stuff comes later. When you're a kid, I wasn't looking at John Candy like, what about John Mithai? Where's the brown guy version? I just enjoyed movies
Yeah.
raceless, and then all of a sudden there's this thing that comes that you get socialized into this sort of group or whatever. And now if you're in New York, it's like, you know, everyone's
Yeah.
got to be an activist, at least on a certain level, to understand what's going on. I think this film kind of transcends a lot of that.
I hope so.
Look, it's a very universal tale. I think it's going to find its audience, which is among, intelligent, sensitive people, which there
Yeah.
are a lot of,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't think you want this to be like a Jerry Bruckheimer,
Yeah.
or like, what's the guy's name? The fucking...
What?
Michael Bay, Like,
Yeah.
You're not aiming for the Transformers audience with this, Like, you're aiming for people who are interested in, like, smart, intelligent storytelling.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you're going to get, too. You got to Sundance. You're going to be popping off now in Film Forum. You're going to sell out the weekend there.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Brown's role here too, like
Yeah.
it's gonna be popping. How are you spreading this? I mean, we got Mango Bay. Of course, you're just like going on press junkets. Are you
Are you
I'm
going on the
doing-
Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
With Charlemagne?
Charlemagne? Hello, Sway. It is me, Shuchi.
I'm doing some press, but honestly, it's like totally grassroots. I have a group of 20 friends who I'm jokingly calling the Special Opening Weekend Committee.
What's this?
And it's like the Special Opening Weekend Committee is reaching out to their networks, like affinity groups at their work, their college groups, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
like bringing
I mean, Devin
people.
went very hard.
Yeah,
hard.
Devin,
She
your
went-
friend
is
who
good.
brought me to Mango Bay,
Yes.
is part of the Special Opening Weekend Committee.
She's in it. And
Yes.
then I noticed all of her friends were posting about it as well.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, it's totally grassroots, word of mouth.
yeah.
Dude, this is great. And then maybe you're even getting surprised. Like, people
Yeah.
are riding hard for you.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Donald Trump is going to post about it.
Phenomenal
Girls
movie.
will be girls.
Love the guys.
Great movie.
Great dudes.
Great movie.
Love the male characters in the film. Very relatable.
A lot of tension.
Very
tense
relatable.
movie. Tense film. Feels like a thriller. It's actually about a mother and
JD
a daughter.
Vance. JD Vance, I saw us and I fucked my couch.
Usha Vance. Usha Vance.
Vance.
is gonna get
Usha
behind
Vance.
it.
It's
Usha
gonna go
Vance. Oh, God.
hard.
Usha Vance will love this movie.
Dude, Kamala Harris, let's go all the way.
Kamala will not like the movie.
Kamala.
She won't. Kamala ain't about it.
Kamala married one of those boys in the group.
Yeah,
He was like,
exactly.
I like those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So follow us on Instagram, Girls Will Be Girls _ the movie, where you can find a link to buy tickets in all your cities. It's going to be in 15 cities around the country. So, whether you're in San Francisco, Dallas, Atlanta, DC, Boston, it's coming to you.
Awesome. Can you say it a little bit for Patreon? A little bit?
Yes.
Your mango bay.